People who are motivated to do things. How the frick do you do that? It's really about making it a habit. Getting up and being motivated to do something comes easier the more you push yourself to do it. The thing I realized is that motivated people don't magically feel like doing things. They just actually do things. It's action, not feelings. You know how you have a thought, I should go do XX, and then you kinda push it off for whatever reason. Maybe you are waiting for a commercial, or to feel like doing it, or just another 5 minutes. Act immediately upon having the thought. Try not to give yourself time to realize you don't want to do it. I made it into a game. If I think I should do something, I try to immediately do it. It's like jumping into a cold pool. By the time I realize I don't feel like doing it, I'm already started. I also heard a saying years ago, done is better than perfect. It's constantly proven itself to be true. But honestly, Nike figured it out years ago. Just do it. It really is that simple. Being homeless for a year did this to me. Step 1. I'll just do 5%. But I'll do it now. Step 2. Meh. Might as well keep going. Step 3. Wow, I'm finished. Now I'm motivated to do more. Motivation is bullshit. Comes and goes on a whim. I think what you want to know about is discipline. Coffee. Turn everything into a precise routine and make it more efficient than the day before. E.g., combining an audiobook with commuting to work before, after rush hour and using the extra time for a workout. Making dinner with the cleanup in mind. Sleep schedule with sleep hygiene. And stop talking to lazy people. They will brainwash you into watching too much TV or being on the internet too much. The results. Routines are the base to my happiness. So I push myself to do stuff. For example, I wanted to start working out, so I had to really push myself for the first few months. But once it became a habit, and what's more important, I saw my body looking good. It's as normal as brushing my teeth. Honestly, Concerta. I always had trouble beginning tasks. Once I started them I could power through, but always felt overwhelmed to start. I was an adult and diagnosed with ADD, and Concerta literally changed my life. I am able to work, clean, take care of kids, stay fit, all because I'm not having trouble starting. Even when I skip a day I'm able to do it all because good habits have been ingrained. Seriously, if you struggle with motivation, maybe you have a brain like mine and can fix it. Motivation is a false god. You will never want to do things that are hard or unpleasant. Discipline is the true path. You must force yourself to do those things even though you don't want to. Get a hard-working girlfriend. My girlfriend works from home, is also studying a PhD, and, pre-lockdown, works for a charity on Saturday mornings. It's a constant reminder to look at myself. Now I'm not as motivated as her. She's the inspiration, but I have to find ways to motivate myself. I will say something like, okay, I have to watch this statistics lecture. Then I can go on Reddit for 10 minutes. If you can stick to it, it works well. Having a super productive girlfriend makes you feel a bit more accountable to stick to it. Read the book, Tiny Habits. Motivation is unreliable. What you should aim for is making the task as easy to start as possible. I.e., put floss in visible sight and easy to reach if you want to do more flossing. Find a logical place in your day to consistently do it. After you brush your teeth, and commit to doing the 30-second version of it. Floss one tooth. You are always welcome to do more. Over time, it will be easier to do more. I used to be a lazy sack of crap. I got a small whiteboard for my fridge and would write 10 daily tasks to complete every day. I started with easy things. Wash the dishes, vacuum, sweep the kitchen, etc. After 3 weeks, I added more difficult tasks. Hang up the clothes on the bottom of my closet. Put in 2 applications for better paying jobs. Cook a crazy new recipe I found. Wash the dishes for aforementioned recipe, etc. By the end of 3 months, I didn't even need the list anymore. The easy tasks just became a natural routine, and the more difficult tasks didn't feel so insurmountable. That was 6 years ago. My house is always clean, and I have a well-paying job I do very well. Anything can become normal habit if you stick to it and don't give up. You've got this. I write out yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals, the power of habit, habit stacking. YouTube this. Also, doing something for only 5 or 15 minutes to start. That's how I learned to do dishes. Often, it's not the task, it's the daunting of staring that is awful. If I only had to wash 5 dishes a day, That's what I would do. More often than not, I'd wash 10 to 15. But if I was in a bad mood, I'd only do 5. But I still set a goal and completed it, which gives you a lot of psychological momentum. The X effect. Also, my goals align with my values. Also, read and watch a lot of YouTube videos. Listen to a lot of audiobooks about the things you're trying to accomplish and about your inspiring interests. Clean your countertops and wash the dishes before going to bed so you don't wake up and be tasked to clean for half an hour to a whole hour cleaning while hungry just to have a clean dish. Pots to cook, then eat. Set the coffee pot to start around the time you get up just before bed so you don't have to be groggy and trudge around the kitchen and wait another 10 minutes. Start your dishwasher, laundry washer now. Let the machines work for you while you nap. Designate at least 2 days to clean bigger stuff. If you let it go and collect instead of keep up, you're gonna wind up losing an entire day washing, drying, and putting away load after load after load of clothes until the day is spent. Not to mention the dishes. 2. Just don't let it get so bad you have no underwear, no dish, no silverware clean. Just keep on it before you get to that point. It sucks. I'm lazy AF. By the way, I do it because I'm too lazy to waste my whole day cleaning. Rather lose just 1 instead of 12. Been there, done that, it's hell. Wild guess. No ADHD. If you continually break promises to yourself, you are literally training your brain that your words and promises don't matter. You're training yourself to fail. If you can't keep a promise to yourself, how can you keep a promise to someone else? It's similar to learning to love yourself before being able to love someone else. Edit. Frick autocorrect. I came up with a helpful way of thinking about it. Motivation is like the push at the top of a hill to get something rolling. But it's not much useful aside from maybe keeping things going once they're started. The concepts of inertia, momentum, and crash and burn are very useful here, because I think what people get wrong is the balance between all of the variables. The less friction there is to slow down the ball, the more it will accelerate. But too much acceleration is unsustainable and will lead to instability and a high probability of crashing and burning. Let's use an example. Say you're wanting to learn a language on the side. If this is the case, start by clearing the path. Clearly identify the path you want your ball to roll. Maybe with learning the language you do research on the best methods of learning. And start with learning the most common words. You choose to watch your TV shows in the language to give more immersion. And find someone willing to talk with you who already speaks it. Write out a decent plan. Map out the route, and identify the obstacles that get in the way. As far as the analogy goes, this is like walking down the hill and removing sticks and bushes and clearing away the frictions that are going to impede progress. Some friction is necessary though. There are limitations to your ability to do something. No one will be able to avoid the memory limitations of language learning. It is best to make small and consistent steps in a positive direction than to stop altogether or attempt to push through. Motivation is like giving it a kick. It works at first really well, but constantly chasing the ball down the hill and absolutely eating it. Like spending 10 hours a day for a week drilling a language endlessly. Might seem to be giving you the progress you want, but anyone will tell you how unstable that condition is. It will likely lead to crash and burn, and there might not be a ball left to roll after that. So many people will suddenly have motivation to start something and will dive in with a ferocity, neglecting all the other parts of their lives, and then find themselves discouraged completely when they can't do it. Here's the key. Commit yourself to 5 minutes a day of whatever it is. Review the language for 5 minutes. Do a 5-minute yoga session. Study for 5 minutes the most important school item. The part that will surprise you is how easily the ball will roll on its own after you kick it. If you can't bring yourself to work on the project directly, start by making your bed or taking out the trash. I can't tell how many ruts I've gotten out of just by getting up and doing anything positive at all. And ended up doing a project for hours as a result. The motivated state is just momentum in action, pulling you forward without effort. Hope that helps. Adderall. Think about it like trying to get into a cold pool. You just have to jump in. Once you start, motivation comes naturally. I'm not going to die a useless burden. It's like exercise or anything else that matters. I feel worse if I don't do it. Nobody likes doing the dishes, applying for jobs, working on a master's degree, going through your credit card purchases looking for fraud or subscriptions to cancel, etc. But crap's gotta get done. I had to go to the ED recently because my left arm was hurting. I was scared I was having a heart issue. I'm only 35, but I'm overweight and sedentary. I'm a single dad, and the thought crossed my mind, what if I don't ever come home? After several tests in the and follow-ups with my physician and additional outpatient tests, we determined that I had no cardiopulmonary problems. I could have gone back to my previous routine, but the fear I felt having EKG leads placed on my chest was unlike anything I've felt before in my life. It was a huge wake-up call, and made me realize if at 35 years old my first concern was my heart, it's because I subconsciously knew I was not doing enough to lull after my health and fitness. It's coming up on 6 weeks later, and I've gone from a sedentary lifestyle to an active one, where I'm eclipsing 100 miles on a bicycle every week. Initially my motivation was fear, and it was good enough to get me on the right track to gaming health seriously. Now it's nearly a habit, and a desire to see exactly how far I can push my body. What I'm actually capable from a fitness perspective. Whatever motivation you find that you can harness, make sure you turn that motivation into discipline, because motivation will fade, eventually. Basically knowing that I will not achieve anything I want to achieve if I don't put in effort. I'm also not too hard on myself if I have an unproductive day. Also, check lists. Don't think about it or wait for motivation. Just do it. At first I was typing sobriety. But really, sobriety has come from discipline. Others on this thread have gone into that more in depth. I'll add, what would future you appreciate? One example, say you're going on vacation. Would future you appreciate coming home to clean sheets and a made bed? Being constantly unsatisfied with my body is how I work out. It's also a great way to escape the existential dread and pressure that haunts constantly. It's either that or drugs, and I've already almost lost myself to that like a friend of mine did. I don't want to go down that road. Saves post to comment on later. Split life into 3 goals. Personal goals, family goals, work goals. Don't let either of them overlap each other. E.g. don't sacrifice your personal goals for work goals. E.g. don't stay late at work or do crazy amounts of overtime then not go gym for weeks. Try your best in each category and have short and long-term goals in each. Also, most important thing I've learned since changing my attitude towards stuff. Always learn something new each day. Make progress in something. It doesn't matter how small it is. Just try to do it for each of those categories, each day. Motivation is a myth. Step number 1 is to rid oneself of the train of thought of, I'm waiting for motivation. There's no powerful spirit that just possesses one's brain out of nowhere that involuntarily shoots one up on one's feet and makes one go, I want to do the thing now. It's all about building habits. Longtime doers of any skill or hobby aren't motivated to do it as often as they do. It's just something they do as part of a routine. If there's something one wants to do, or stop doing, one needs start building habits. For the sake of this, let's use exercise as an example. Tons of people want to start exercise and working out but don't have the motivation. They imagine themselves in this situation where they're militant about getting to the gym and working out and going hard in the paint. But that seems impossible to do when they've been sitting at home, not doing much. So instead of waiting for motivation to make that drastic overnight change, one needs to start and build those habits to where it seems like second nature. Practice getting ready to get in the car. Build that habit. Practice driving to the gym. Build that habit. Practice going into the gym. Build that habit. Practice going to the gym and doing light cardio for 15 minutes. Build that habit. It's about building the habits one wants to emulate, and not waiting to be possessed by the spirit of motivation. I'm motivated to do things because I know that when I finish it, I'll be happy it's done. I had a 26-page research paper I wrote in high school. It sounds awful to do, but it's actually worse than that. But I was able to finish it a month and a half before it was due. I was so proud of the accomplishment of finishing a paper of that magnitude, and that I was able to chill in that class for the remainder of the year. That feeling I knew I would experience when I finished it is what motivated me.